Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and knowledge, welcome to an experience that will take you on a captivating journey beyond our world. Today we have a special treat for you as we sit down with the renowned Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier. Prepare yourself for a rapid-fire question and answer session that delves into the depths of cosmic wisdom and unveils the mysteries of the universe. As always, please remember to like this video and share it with your friends and family. That way, it gets seen by more truth seekers. Also, remember Alex hosts a live webinar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to visit the link in the description for more information. But for now, here are today's rapid-fire questions and answers.
In one of your previous webinars, you talked about what happens when we die, and you referred to the malevolent beings who are in charge of this process, forcing us to reincarnate over and over again. Now that many of these regressive entities have been removed from our plane, is this process of after death, the tunnel, etc., is still the same, or are the souls who transition now free to go wherever they choose? Thank you, never enough. Thank you, never enough, for your love and service to all of us. This is from Agata. They're probably loosely translated. Anyway, hopefully,
I thought you were saying it's never enough. It'd be hard to please. That's for sure. As far as I know, that's exactly what the process is. People are free to go. They can also choose to come back, but there is no forced loop. There is no entrapment. And I have no other information other than that. I would have to have a death or a near-death experience in order to test that hypothesis. And should that occur, I'll let you know, okay? Assuming I come back. If not, and I don't come back, then you will know that I've headed home to Zenite, okay? For some R&R. A vacation from Earth. A long vacation from Earth. So that's all I know. That's all I know. I'm not aware of any new published reports on near-death experiences. Is anyone actually doing that kind of work anymore? Because, I scanned the boards and I haven't seen anything about that. It'd be interesting. Especially with so many people transitioning now because of the treatment, because what the treatment is doing to them. It would be interesting to find out about that.
If languages were developed to cause division amongst the inhabitants of Terra, will we transverse back to a universal language, or will that not be necessary as we learn to communicate telepathically?
Well, you know what? That's something we could all talk about, isn't it? That would be a really good conversation to start with the entire world. Or we could keep our languages and wear interpreter devices that translate for us what the different native languages are. That's an option. We don't have to get rid of our native tongues. We can keep them, allow them to survive, but wear devices that will translate anything anybody else says in a different language on the surface to us. What is it that you want? We're not limited in any way. We are not limited in any way. So we don't need to keep thinking in a limited way. I know this is going to be work. This is definitely going to be work for a lot of us, not to think in a limited way. But we're no longer trapped. We really aren't. All things are possible. Everything is on the table. Everything.
In the Dr. Salah webinar, you mentioned that Islam was created by the Catholic Church and that Muhammad's spouse was a Catholic nun. Any more details on that story? Ask Birgitta Glocker.
No, that's history. That's common history. You just have to look it up. Most people don't bother to. Muhammad was married to a former Catholic nun, and she had regular contact with elements within the Vatican, and there was a lot of influence there. And if you truly do the research of the Catholic Church, starting in 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea, you will be amazed. You will absolutely be amazed at what they wanted everybody to believe at the point of a sword. And you do not want to miss the part of history regarding the Inquisition and how the church turned all of its weapons against the women. You do not want to miss that. That's huge. That is huge. And they did it because they wanted to suppress the feminine principle. Because women smelled bullshit right away. They did. And they still do. And the church knew they had a problem. So what they did was they targeted the leaders. Yeah. The matriarchs. Anyway, that history is there. All you have to do is spend some time and research it. Okay?
According to new JP stroke Dr. Salah interview, Jupiter's moon Europa was brought here intentionally. Do you know who brought it and when and for what purpose? Is it some kind of old spacecraft like our moon?
Most of the moons here are. It's like a used moon lot. Okay? It's like a used moon lot. This one was made here. This one was made there. This one's made of this. This one has a propulsion system that was great, but we can't find parts for it. This is a newer model, but we can't find circuit boards for it because they don't make them anymore because that civilization was destroyed by the Orion group. There's all kinds of things. This one over here was made by such and such a race, but it smells so bad inside, no one wants it. I kid you not. I kid you not. I haven't listened to the latest JP thing from Dr. Salah. I haven't. Like I said, I went into semi-retirement and I've been busier than ever. And it isn't all just this. It's family. I'm a parent. I'm a parent. And these are really interesting times. And, when my kids want to talk to me, I give them my ear for as long as they want. Okay? And 4 out of the 5 are making my ear go cauliflower. And I love it. I love it. It's a zillion questions, and it's repetition, 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 repetition. But I love it. So, and the one who's the last holdout, she knows everything until she realizes she doesn't. So, I'm sure some of you have children like that. So you get it. So I can't comment on what JP said. So I don't know. But Yeah. I mean, just look, what, last 5 years? 29 moons. There are 29 new moons in our solar system. You think they just floated up together all at the same time? No, no. And I've told you in previous webinars, many of these moons have minerals on them that we could mine for technology that we can use here on Earth. Some of it can be used in growing our own starships. Other minerals are very good when you pulse a frequency through it that can not only clean the atmosphere, but it can also remove radiation from the oceans. There's so many things going on, guys. There's so many things. And those raw materials are being brought to us. Okay? Because they're on the surface of some of these old carriers, starship carriers. And you know what's interesting? Has anybody seen a flat moon by any chance? Huh? Have you seen a flat moon yet? Makes sense you would, right? If everything else is flat.
Hi, Alexei and the A team. As always, from my heart, thank you for all you do, says Ian McLean. What was J.R.R. Tolkien trying to tell us with Lord of the Rings? Seems he was aware of things like Middle Earth, the monsters, and the all-seeing eye. What is your take on this?
Yes, there was a lot of esoteric knowledge that was being shared, for centuries and centuries and centuries. That was swept under the table, or it was just talked about in dark corners. And he somehow had the idea to write the books. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, obviously. But I do find interesting is that the language in the book, in the books, the elfin language, was a language that he had discovered himself that was hidden inside all of the world's languages, almost as if maybe it was a first language. And he wrote about this, and he talked about this in the very beginning about this language. Now, a lot of people thought he just made it up, but he was like, no, it existed. Because I just stumbled across it. So could the elfin language be an Atlantean language? Could it be a Tartarian language? Could it be a language of a civilization we have yet to discover? It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating to think about.
Alex, do you or your sources have any information on Elon Musk, if he's working with the Alliance or for AI?
Okay. If he was AI and a dark hat, there is no way he'd own Twitter. Didn't matter how much money he had. Okay. He's clearly a white hat, and I get both sides. But if you look at pictures of Elon 10 years ago, and you look at him now, specifically the years, I think you'll come to realize that there's a difference. There's a real difference. Okay, so let's move past Elon Musk and start focusing on what we're going to do with our newfound freedom and how we're going to build it and expand it for future generations. Okay? Look, in this plan to free humanity from this infection, this Orion infection, okay, this reptilian AI infection, the plan has no failure point. Do you understand? It has 0 failure points. I need you to hear that. There's no failure points. We need to start focusing on what we're going to do now. We as the civilization, as the population of Earth. Okay? That's what we need to be working on. We have to step up. That's the plan. We have to step up now. Okay? The military is going to do their thing. But they're not going to do it all. They're not going to do it all. They can't do it all. And you don't want the military running everything. You just simply don't. We have to do it. I'm going to say it one more time. You're watching a movie, and in the movie, there are zero failure points. I'm as serious as gospel here. There are no failure points. So, feel good about it, and let's start focusing on what we have to do.
How can Asian and African people more relate to the Galactic Federation of Worlds, seeing predominantly Nordics and no species more similar to them?
Well, that's absolutely not true. They're just not seeing it yet. Okay, black race hails from Sirius. Okay, so when if they're here, they'll eventually show themselves, or if they're not and they're coming, they'll show themselves. As far as the Asian people, you have the benevolent Zeta Reticuli. They're awesome. The benevolent Zeta Reticuli, they're just awesome. The benevolent E-bands, they're awesome. They're absolutely awesome. So everybody will be represented here. I mean, that's why we have the 22 different body types, now 24. It's because we're all representing another race that colonized or was here for a while and tweaked us in their own way, or left offspring that began a civilization. So everybody will be represented. That's why everybody's here. Earth is already a planet of diversity. Just look at our races, look at our cultures, look at the life, the wildlife, the ecosystem. It's one of the most diverse places in the entire galaxy. So let's not go there. Let's not make this a race thing. Oh God.
During the time of the great fall of Atlantis, wasn't it those beings who had the ability to see in the future timeline and project probable outcomes that enabled them to see the dynamics of how this cabal used fear and separation to enslave us? Were the ones who ascended and were able to live under the surface of the planet. Do the A's have contact with them?
Okay, well, that was an entirely different scenario, Atlantis. We were around, humanity was around, but primarily the orchestrators of all that chaos were extraterrestrials. Okay, it was largely an extraterrestrial civilization. And they all had their own trips. They all had their own biases. They all had their own jealousies and their own agendas, which is where we learned it from. So it isn't apples to apples. Not to mention that some of the extraterrestrial races that were here were picking fights with other star nations in other solar systems. So if I can use the expression a clusterfuck, that's what Atlantis ended up being in the end. So it went rogue. It went rogue. So again, it's not apples to apples. Here we had both some extraterrestrials and a significant portion of Terrans who just decided to betray humanity. For power, for wealth, none of it which was real. So all those things will be answered when they give us a true history of our planet, when that's presented. We know a lot now, but there's a great deal we don't know. And that is specifically the extraterrestrial perspective. And, the knowledge we have is very broken up and splintered because most of that history has been hidden from us. So we wouldn't know our past.
There you have it, fellow truth seekers. An enlightening and exhilarating rapid-fire question and answer session with the remarkable Alex Collier, sharing his profound encounters with the benevolent Andromedan extraterrestrial beings. As we continue our cosmic journey, let us embrace the wisdom of the Andromedans and carry their message of love, unity, and compassion with us. Together, we can create a world where humanity stands united, ready to embrace the wonders that await us in the vast expanse of the universe. If you found this rapid-fire question and answer session fascinating, hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more captivating content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Until next time, may the stars guide you on your path of enlightenment and exploration. And remember to always seek knowledge and stay curious. If you want to get the latest information from Alex Collier, we host a live webinar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.